tonight, but we got the ARCA cars. We had the trucks this past Monday and a thriller of a race. He's going to sing that motor tonight. I know that. Joe Spinelli is 15th. We got Joshua Gillian in 16th. Caleb Smith there in 17th. We got Jonathan Geist. He started in 18th. Edwin Warren started in 19th. Daniel Rubino Bino. I'm going to say Rubino until I get it right here. Starting in 20th. Seth Fowley there in 21st. Jordan Brockle starting second. Kenyon Jackson in 23rd. So, apologize. Actually, it seems like my brain is slower than my mouth wants.
We're getting there, Joe. It was already better than last week, so we're getting better every week.
Well, and what I was about to touch on there as we got through here, Bristol, and Bristol is a big track. It's one that's has changed well over the years and years and years. Some say for the good, some say for the bad. It's all personal preference, but I did a test on it. I did a race the other night, and man, this place was slick for those drivers. They were in the trucks, and I referenced the trucks really heavy to these cars, so we're going to go green, and I want to get your feeling because I know you test these cars out here, Altus, real quick, but
yeah, I did a quick little test session at Charlotte Motor Speedway last night. I just hadn't driven these cars at all yet, Joe, so I just kind of wanted to put myself out there and experience what it felt. And they're very planted. They're very stable. It'll be interesting to see, on the half mile here at Bristol. And but we're coming to green. Bobby Mantle on the pole. He's our current points leader. So I think we're in for a good one tonight, Joe.
Pace cars in, going green. Platinum Service VA here tonight. Green flag in the air. We're racing at the Clean Racing League here, the ARCA Series. And like you said, another quick note that I saw really heavily the other night was the outside lane really was very dominant here. You could pass on the inside, but you got slick awful quick if you tried to push it any time on the inside. Now, again, I'm referencing the trucks. These cars are a little bit different, less horsepower. Maybe they're a little more planted on the inside. We'll have to see. Thoughts on that there?
Yeah, I think the high side's normally pretty dominant. As we see, Ghost did not get a good start there. I mean, he started outside pole, and he's dropped several positions here. So, it could be strategic, though. He could be just trying to save the tires. Maybe it's one of those things where the outside will come in, the later the race goes on. So Ghost is kind of the first one really kind of testing that outside. It's not really working for him right now, but I think it's going to be key to try to, back up the corners as much as you can and save the right front on the tires. Similar to Martinsville, earlier this year we saw Rob Sherwood and Ross Tatum drive through the entire field at Martinsville.
Yeah.
Doing really good with tire management. So, I think it'll be fun. Just a quick note for my test session. These cars, it's extremely difficult to pass in these cars too, Joe, as we see a battle for the lead here. 92 taking a peek on the inside of Bobby Mantle here, but it's very hard to pass, just the aero and how planted they are. So we'll keep an eye on it and see if people are able to make their way through the field.
And they talk about that in the real life Cup car, how hard it is to pass because they down that car so much with so much downforce. You're right on that point here. Trying to pass with a lower powered, heavy downforce style car, you've always got to have the guy in front of you make a mistake. You see the battle for the lead here. That's David Burke right there is on the back end of Mantle. Well, see, he's trying different lines. I mean, hey, it's going to work. One thing used to this bottom dominant track, obviously before they did the progressive turns and all that, and just totally redid the track. And I know why they tried to do it. They wanted to get multiple grooves here. It has happened. We've seen multiple grooves here, or you can run the high line. You just touched on that. It seems like right now these cars are wanting to be planted to the bottom. I mean, and it's kind of different than what I've seen with the trucks here.
Yeah, and you just got to run where you're comfortable at the end of the day. I mean, if the car is most comfortable down there, I mean, if they're planted, just run where your car's happy. We got a battle for the lead. The 92 here. We'll see if he can get the run off the corner, Joe, and I think he might be able to get that run. And I ran with David actually last night in that practice race I was referencing at Charlotte, and he finished second there. So he's definitely got some skill for these cars as he goes around Bobby and he takes the lead, new leader.
And perfect example of what I was talking about right there. That high side, how he was able to utilize it later on. It looked like the low end was good for a little while with the tires. Once the tires started kind of neutralizing or going away, it seems like it's a high line. And it's almost, I don't know how much of a dirt racer you are. It's almost like a slider line where you go in low and you kind of let it drift up high and then you kind of come out a little bit low.
Dime in the corner a little bit. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, you can already see, to your point, Joe, he's already kind of starting to migrate up toward the top a little bit as this run's going on. And is that Jacob Grant up to second place there, too?
He's up to fourth. Jacob Grant, man, is up 2 spots already there. Yeah, up to fourth, looking strong. So, we saw him last week. Bobby Mantle, Lincoln a little bit, that you don't want to see that. But Jacob, man, he had a pretty good race last week. But, man, had a heartbreaker, man, the other week. So, he's had some up and down races. He's shown speed, though. He has shown that, hey, look, I can run up front. I can possibly be in victory lane. It's just disaster has got him.
Oh, he'll get there. Jacob is he's a great driver. He's, he and I have become really good friends as well over the years racing with each other. And, I mean, it's just a luck thing right now. He'll get it figured out, and he's consistent. We'll definitely see him in victory lane eventually, and it could be tonight. Another driver to highlight as well, Joe, up in second place. Their cars look pretty similar, which is why I got him mistaken. But Jordan Trask, he's another phenomenal driver. I raced with him across multiple different leagues. He was also in that Friday night, or not Friday night, I'm sorry, the race last night at Charlotte. The one that I was referencing, that I was practicing with David as well. Jordan, I always joke with him. I'm like, man, it doesn't matter what league I jump in or what session, but that dude is always there. He loves racing. He loves racing different vehicles and across multiple different series, and he's definitely one that we've got our eyes on Monday nights as well. He's going to be a threat to win a championship this year. He's a very skilled driver and a really nice guy too. So yeah, he's up in second right now, chasing down the leader.
Brian too, right there, like I said, Jordan Trask, Jacob Grant third, Bobby Mantle unfortunately has fallen back into the fourth place. Danny White, I appreciate him sponsoring the race here tonight for us, starting there in the fifth place with Daniel Miller there in sixth. Chris Smith, he's really been the talk there. I got to give the hats off to him. maybe he's found the car that he loves, his grooves. Don't want to take anything away from what he does in the truck series. But, you know, he won the Daytona race already earlier in the season, but he really has had a phenomenal season here in the Grants Designs ARCA Series here for the Clean Racing League. Right now running 7th. I mean, you come out of this place, I think, with a top 10, top 5, that's almost a win.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Chris Smith, I actually had the pleasure of talking with him and Jacob last night. You know, we were just kind of shooting the breeze, you know, for about 45 minutes or so in Discord and catching up and just kind of talking about, you know, where we are as a league in general. And just, you know, I just, you know, wanted to talk to him and just tell him how good of a job he's been doing, you know, across CRL. And just we talked about the competition level and all the guys. And yeah, Chris, to your point, Joe, is I think he's really found his footing in this league in the ARCA Series. He got that win at Daytona earlier this year, and I don't know, he just seems really comfortable. I think confidence is a big part of it, running up in the top 10, and he's high up in the point standings and just doing a really good job.
You know, I talk about confidence, and it's interesting you bring that up because it also brings up a name, Lane Hostler. You know, last season was a dismal season, and you know, we said, can he bounce back mentally? And that confidence, you got to have it. And obviously, he's had a win already this season. So, for Chris to come out here, it will build confidence for him for the Truck Series. Right now, he's got a little bit of pressure there by Ricky Harden, who is right behind him trying to look on the inside. Caleb Smith's another one out here. Jumped out of the boot to get back into the car and has done a fantastic job in the ARCA Series so far. As they've got a heated battle going up here with Danny White and company. Looks like a lower traffic though car might be involved. I don't know. Yeah, that's like well, maybe our leader already catching some traffic here in the back.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long if we go green.
Oh yeah, it doesn't take long at all. I'm really impressed with. I'm gonna have to work on his last name. Burkicki maybe. David Burkicki. I'll have to ask him, just make sure I'm not botching that too bad. But
yeah. Oh, David, up
our leader. Yeah. Jordan Trask is working on him right now.
It's got to be something along that lines. I'm due. I just go David Burr.
Yeah, I need to do a little homework and talk to a couple of these guys, make sure I get their names right. But I'm really impressed with him right now. Yeah, he's doing a great job.
On that one, Joshua. I'm gonna let you do that because I don't get a chance to talk to him as much as you do. But
that's
I
okay.
Get their names right.
Oh yeah, well I'll do some homework before next week, Joe, and I'll try to come back with a list here to try to help us out a little bit here in the booth. But yeah, David's doing a great job leading right now. He's got Jordan Trask, you know, kind of breathing down his neck right now. But as you see the battle with the O2 here, Zachary Foudy, Joe, got that win last week at Michigan on fuel mileage.
The reason I brought this up here in the back, and Abram Ghost, way back in 15, and we can see him right now, but he was blinking bad. Looks like he might be having some connection issues. I mean, folks, we're on the virtual world, anything can happen. Now, I noticed he was blinking bad. Maybe he has fallen back there so that he doesn't get into anybody, to get into anybody's way of trouble. Good sportsmanship on his end.
Oh, but yeah, absolutely.
I saw him blinking heavily right there, and while you were, telling us about what's going on up front. So maybe that's some of the issue because he has fallen from the front all the way to 15th spot.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll say to your point, I would say if you're talking about just sportsmanship and respectful drivers, I mean, I can't think of a better example than Ghostman. I mean, he's been a staple of the CRL and one of the veterans in this league, and obviously does a lot for this series with the sponsorship, with Ghost Athletics and, his flag football that he puts on, and just a really, really good guy. We talked a little bit a couple weeks ago. It's cool getting to know some of these guys outside the sim a little bit, and Ghost is a really, really cool guy. So hopefully he can get his connection figured out and start making his way back up to the field.
Listen, Eric out there did say that the 22s with Blinken's become a big problem. So, yeah. And I appreciate it. All Thrall TV out said he calls David Barsiski. You know what?
Barsiski? Okay.
That actually does sound. We'll go with that until I'll go with that until I hear otherwise.
Maybe.
Barsicki.
Yeah.
Barsicki.
Barsicki sounds pretty close.
Barsicki right there does. So, meanwhile, he's out front right now doing an outstanding job. Either way, if he does get up here in the top three, we'll definitely get to ask him. Jordan Trask still trailing him. And then Jacob Grant right there in third. Everybody kind of in a single file line. got to kind of go way back here around about this spot, around about the 12th place spot. You get a little bit of drivers on top of each other. You got Wayne Chapman there, Joe Spinelli, Joshua Gillian. They're all guys back there, man, battling with each other. A few little lap machines back, but everybody so far. And Seth, I got to ask, you're in pit road. What happened? I see you out there. Oh,
trouble. That looked like the 55
Chris
of Chris
Smith.
Smith.
We were just talking. Yeah, we were just talking.
Well,
let's see what happened.
I don't think he hit anything. So let's take a look.
Yeah,
is that the 18
right
of Bradley Murphy maybe with him?
Yep, it's Bradley Murphy right there behind him. Let's see if he had some help or if he just self-spun it on his own. Murphy went by him. 86 right there. Joe Spinelli.
Spinelli.
They just got
did he get
together.
Spinelli'd? Uh-oh. Yeah, just a little contact. Oh, lock it down. Oh, great job not to really hit anything. Yeah. Now, that was an innocent spin at the end of the day. He should be okay. He might have lost a lap there just in that transition, but no harm, no foul.
No, and he should be able to get. I'm going to say
road
he's
is
got plenty.
busy.
Yeah, it is. Everybody's going to come out. I'm going to say he's got plenty of time, but we get some long green flags here with only like 105 to go. 5 laps here. It's going to go by really quick. Bye for now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I had the baby. Oh, okay, Fowdy. Well, congratulations on the baby. I know y'all were expecting Seth Fowdy out there, man, who actually did quite well. I interviewed him the other day. His wife was expecting while he was actually racing, so he thanked her for letting her.
That's
him
commitment
race.
right there.
Yeah, and he got a top 3 out of it, so that was cool. So Seth, man, hey, congratulations on the baby and the newborn, man. Definitely, man, go take care of that.
Yep.
So new racer, man, in another 13, 14 years. There we go.
There you go. That's awesome. Well, I'm looking here. That was a really good opening run, Joe. We're already at lap 47. This is flying by. We're almost halfway through this race already.
And it will. It's Bristol. Short track, man. I tell you.
Yeah.
We get some green flag runs.
I'd expect everyone to probably go ahead and get 4 tires here, fill it up with gas, and
most everybody did. Yep.
We've got 2 additional sets tonight, so everyone's going to probably take their first set here, and we'll have 1 more just in case we get a shootout.
Yeah, and I think the only way that you're probably going to see another pit stop from any of these guys, I think they can make it the rest of the way, is probably, and I'm just assuming, is if a caution comes out. Jordan Trask somehow got out front.
He may have leapfrogged them in pit road.
Well, his pit, I don't know why my total pit time is all messed up, because I know, folks, they did not make a total pit time of .52 and .25. They did. They had some light speed going on through that pit stop. But but real quick here, we're going back green.
Yeah, pace car's
Platinum
off.
Service VA green flag in the air again, and out front, Jordan Trask got out, but just to reference, he did have a little quicker pit stop. It was a 1483 to 1497. So I don't know what the total pit time was, because again, .52 to .25. That's blazing speed off pit road.
Yeah. Well, and I can say this from experience, Joe. Like, this is not what you want to see. If you're the field, Jordan Trask get out in front. He's tough to pass once he gets out front. So, David was doing a really good job working that high side that we had referenced. So, interested to see how hard David pushes it here. If he tries really hard to get the lead back, or just how hard these guys push. I mean, we still got a pretty good run here. 50 laps potentially if we don't put another set on. So you don't want to be overly aggressive and cook those tires too early in the run. But be interesting to see.
Conservative, aggressive. You got to be conservative and aggressive, because
that's right.
Like what you just mentioned with the green flags that we got. If it goes green flag, those 50, 40 some laps will go by just like that.
Oh yeah.
We already went through 60 some real quick. It's just, so you've got to have that in the back of your mind is, okay, look, I want to be conservative, like you said, save some tires, but I also got to keep that guy, man, from not running away from me too much, because I want to be able to pull him back in. And I think he's doing a good job where he's at. You got Bobby Mantle right there in 3rd. Jacob Grant still up in the 4th place. Danny White hanging in the 5th. Everybody's just kind of single file right now. I'm surprised to see that with this car. You know, even with the trucks, you saw some side-by-side stuff happening. But as planted as these cars are, it looks like everybody's just kind of comfortable riding that low line.
Oh, yeah. And it's I think Bristol in general is just a really fun track to drive, Joe. Just, you know, you don't really think of Bristol as kind of like a multi-groove track, but I really think it can be. You know, it seems like the majority of people are running, you know, kind of wrapping that yellow line on the bottom, but I know David's kind of been one to, you know, kind of run that little diamond like we talked about, or kind of drift up and run that next little groove. So it's fun to watch, because if you can make the high line work, you can get such a big run off the corner to really set you up for these, you know, short straightaways.
Absolutely. There you got Ricky Hardin back there in the 9th place spot. Wayne Chapman's battling with him. Caleb Smith moving up in the 11th place spot. Now, you mentioned a little bit earlier about, if I can't find him, was Zachary Foudy?
Yep.
Last week, coming home with the victory.
It's our winner.
You know, that's two different tracks. Michigan, obviously, to Bristol. You know, we go from a huge track to a small track. Right now tonight, you know, this right here is an indication of which track do you like better. You know, you mentioned, hey, like I love Bristol. Maybe small tracks here is not his forte. I mean, he's trying. I mean, I give him credit. He's out there still running. I won't take anything away from him, but it's not the night he's probably looking for.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the difference in a week, right, Joe? You go from the highest to victory lane to struggling and getting lapped here. So, you know,
that's racing.
That's racing, man. That's it. You know, it's a very up and down sport, and you got to kind of keep your. Oh, looks like Jordan Trask got the wall a little bit right there. But
I want to touch on that just for a second, man. I know we were talking about Foudy, but I noticed that the other night with the trucks. That's another thing that I noticed here. Real bad, these guys hitting the wall coming out of the turn. Is that just? I know this track is kind of loose down in the bottom, some in the middle, but is that maybe a tightness of the car, or is that just
yeah?
Hey, look,
no,
maybe
I think
I don't know, the transition between the turn and the straight.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't run short tracks here, but if any indication, you know, of what I ran last night at Charlotte, one thing you got to be really careful of is, you know, we talked about this a little bit last week at Michigan too, is once you commit to that throttle, it drives straight up off the corner. So if you get in the throttle a little too early, it's not like where you can really, you know, get off the gas and kind of get it to rotate like some of the other cars. Like it's stuck. So you're kind of along for the ride almost, like once you commit to the throttle. And we see David Burkicki, you know, we're going to get David B. David B. He just went around Jordan Trask. So, I mean, this is
right there, man. You're right.
Yeah.
And I think maybe, you know, we can't feel it. We're not in the car. It looks like right now that Trask is okay. Car's straight. And because you can hit the wall a little bit here. You can get away with damage. It's a short track. I don't know if you remember, real quick, back in the day, maybe some of the old cats back there might be better, but Harry Gant, I remember him.
Oh, yeah.
And it was either Bristol or Martinsville.
Harry.
Yeah, either Bristol or Martinsville had the whole front of that car, took off, and still, I think, finished in like the top 10, top 5 of that race. He battled back. So I'm not going to say that extent of damage, but you can get away with some damage on the car, unlike last week where damage really would have affected you.
I'll save it for the viewers right now, but remind me, Joe, I'll have to tell you off air. I got a really cool Harry Gant story. That was that was my dad's hero growing up. So I got a pretty cool story with my dad, but I'll spare the viewers for now.
Right now, Bobby Mantle hanging on the 4. Jacob Grant still right there in 3rd place. Danny White having a great run here tonight there in 5th. We got Daniel Miller. You got to go back around. I'm going to say we're here with Wayne Chapman. He's got Steve Bravado. I hope I said it right. I know the parents are all out there probably watching him run around here. There's Steve, man, right there, along with Wayne Chapman. Abram looks like he might have got the blinking taken care of. Now he's back in the throttle, back up to 11th.
Yeah, right outside the top 10. So, you know, don't count Ghost Man out. He can still get a good finish. And I just wanted to bring up, Joe, it looked like Caleb Smith disconnected. So I don't know if he had some trouble early or what happened with Caleb, but he's out.
Wow. Caleb been having a pretty good season so far here in the ARCA Series.
Oh, he
Stepped
actually,
out of the booth.
We might have to go back and see if we can find that, Joe. He actually just sent me a message and said, "I love getting hooked for 10th." So I'm wondering if he got in some trouble and maybe it didn't bring the caution out. So
give me just a second here. Okay, there it is.
Maybe just one. I
didn't have a thing that popped up.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't know that he spun, folks. Okay.
I thought I saw him slow on the apron, but
at 54, I might have went back maybe one a little bit.
Yeah, is that Wayne Chapman maybe?
It's Wayne Chapman right there with him. He's in that pack that we were watching was running hard. See the 86 right there in front. He looks like he's going high. It's Bristol, man. You know what? I know frustration. That's short track racing, I think, in a nutshell. I don't see any intentionalness there. That's really man. That's a tough one. That's tough.
That's unfortunate for Caleb Smith. He's had a really good start to the season, and I know he'll be disappointed tonight.
Yeah.
So
wow.
But like you said, Joe, that's short track racing. Sometimes it's going good till it's not. We are clicking some laps away, Joe. We're on lap 82 already. We're coming up on 20 to go already.
Yes, we are. And like I said, it'll click off. We get some green flag runs here tonight. As you've got David Persicki out there, man, doing pretty good in first. Jordan Trask right behind him. Jacob Grant, got to appreciate him out there. And folks, just to give a good shout out here tonight, Jacob Grant doing an outstanding job. Brought this new series here, the ARCA Series. And, presented by Grant's Designs. And got a host of great sponsors out there. Ghost Athletics, we got to talk to him a couple weeks ago. Great guy. Been a staple here in the Clean Racing League. So Ghost Athletics out there, putting on a great sponsor for us. Obviously, Grant's Designs. Check them out on Instagram. DRL Podcast. Hey, can't say much there, man. Go listen to them. They're on Spotify and YouTube. You want the links, go check out cleanracingleague.com. That's cleanracingleague.com. It'll get you the links and everything up to speed on the league. And then simracingmerc.com. And if you want to get a little bit off on your purchase, use a promo code CRL2025, CRL2025. And then, again, Danny White has stepped up the last couple of weeks in races for us here. And tonight got the Bristol race here. So, been a good one, like you said, and it's going by really quick as it should, as a short track there off this, and it looks like, man, we're in some heavy traffic with the leader. Yeah,
this is getting intense, Joe. We got David and Jordan are pacing really quick right now. We're getting in some lap traffic, and
we got 11 cars in the lead lap.
Yeah, and we're just under 20 to go now, too, so this is getting crunch time, Joe. Here's my question to you. At this point, we probably only got maybe 5 minutes left of racing if it stays green. Do you think we're going to see a caution, or do you think, this might go green to the end here?
Well, it's the Clean Racing League. I say it week in and week out. It's in the name. And I touch on this. I've talked about it. When you prepare for these races, you prepare for them not to have caution. It doesn't matter really the track a lot of times. I know you mentioned that last week. I just look at it as, to me, in the back of my mind, I say no, because I've seen these guys so much. But it is Bristol, and it's the last great Coliseum. It's a madhouse. Anything can happen. So, and especially with the leaders, and now with the pack getting into a bunch of lap traffic, because we go back here, nobody's safe. You see around here about 7th place spot, Ricky Hardenoff. They still got to come through all that lap traffic. I just mentioned that there's only 9 cars on the lead lap out of a good field here tonight of 23. So they're going through the field, but at the pace we're going, I'm going to give it 80%, 85% we go green, maybe a 15, 10% that we go.
Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. Gosh, we've only been live for maybe 30 minutes, and we're about to take 10 to go already. It's it's been a flash.
Hey, you get some races that take a little bit, cautions, longer races. I knew this one probably, if it goes green, was going to be a little shorter because of track, obviously. But and that is a refreshing thing to be able to say. We've had one caution here tonight so far. To come into Bristol, and boom, just to have that one caution. Wow! And real quick here, I got to give the man bouncing back. Abraham Ghost, he up to P7, back up to 7, and looking to try to get some more. So got the blinking connection issue a little bit settled down and fixed, and he's looking right down the back end of the 64 of Danny White. Maybe try to get another spot back. He's in some lap traffic right now, but yeah, Ghost on the move.
Well, and I don't want to put too much stock into this, but I think it's cool to see. I'm looking at David, Jordan, and then Ghost. Those are 3 guys that I ran that Charlotte race with last night. A little extra practice, Joe. I know it's a mile and a half, so it might not translate exactly to Bristol, but I mean, a little extra seat time.
Got to give a feel of the car.
Hey, Bobby Mandel's starting to join this party too, Joe.
Oh,
it's not we got in trouble.
I think we just jinxed
and there's
the
caution.
Yeah, man. Wow, but it was in that pack that we were talking about right there. Let's go back and watch one more time. And I got a feeling it's going to be kind of the incident that we're talking about. Yeah, just that's typical. Yeah. Folks, I'm going to go outside. That's the typical Bristol right there. There's no really illness there. And unfortunately, that takes Jonathan Geist out of this one. But
all right, it's decision time now, Joe. It's decision time. What do you do here, Joe? Do you put tires on, or are we staying out? What are we doing?
If you're in 9th or 8th place, you got nothing to lose. Because you're going to come back out in that spot. And
is he coming? I think he is. He's coming.
Okay.
Is he bringing somebody's got to stay. Someone's got to take a risk. Jacob Grant.
Daniel
I love
Miller.
the move by Grant. Yep. And
but
I think that's a good move,
cars and Bradley Miller, does he have enough cars behind? Now, let me go back. I saw this the other night with the trucks. I will say that tires matter, and I know that's kind of weird for me to say because a lot of tracks, and we touched on this, tires just really don't give enough of advantage. But yet, they did here in the trucks. Man. Now, with this car, will they? You mentioned earlier.
I don't know, Joe.
Yeah. It's hard to pass. And it's,
I don't know,
it hard
man.
to pass even with the truck. Even with new tires, they didn't just go blowing right by the guy. They still had to fight him, and they still got loose on the inside. Even as planned as this car is. So, yeah, I'm going to go with it. Possibly a great move here by Jacob Grant, especially when we go back green. It's probably going to be close to green, white, checkered.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Jacob wins this race.
Yeah, as long as
that's just my gut feeling.
Here, I feel.
Yep.
I feel like he's got enough machines. I've said this many times that if you do this move, if you get enough cars behind you before the guy who has the best tires, he has to work his way through the field, and especially with only about a couple laps after the green, white, checkers type scenario. Yeah, so maybe this is what Grant needed. Sometimes you need a little luck on your side.
This is what I think it's going to come down to is we're going to have to watch David. Can he get through the gears, and can he stay on Jacob's bumper? If he can clear the 8 car of Daniel Miller and be in line with Jacob on his bumper, he's got a shot. But if Jacob gets... Yeah, but if Jacob gets a really good start and pulls a couple car lengths in front of David, it's going to be really hard to get him here in 2 laps. So it's all going to come down to this restart. If he can stay right with Jacob on this restart and be right on him, I think he's got a real shot at it. But
and don't spin those tires.
Yeah, so we'll see. This is going to be fun to watch.
Woo, yes, it is. It's going to be a good one. We got Jacob Grant out front. We got Daniel Miller along with it. They're going to roll the dice here and see if they can hang on, get a good finish, maybe a possible win here tonight. Bobby Mandelman and David Bersiski, man, right there, starting in the 4th and 3rd place spot. Pace cars in. Platinum Service VA green flag back in the air. We're going back racing here, Bristol style. And Jacob Grant
Jacob
does
got a
get
great
a good one.
He got a great start. That might be enough because
that's what he wants to see right there. Yeah,
I think he's got it. I think he's got it.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, you can see those new tires coming into play.
It's not going to be enough time. White flag's in the air.
Yep. He's got one more time here tonight, Bristol style.
Here comes Bobby Mantle. He's going to give it all he's got here. He's got one last chance.
2 more turns. Jacob Grant in the angle, bump and run, coming out of the turn. He's going to win it.
Jacob Grant.
Wow, what a finish!
What a finish!
Got it. Let's go back and watch it one more time, folks. It was exciting, man. Mantle, I think if Mantle would have had one more lap, he would have got there. But I think, like what you said, the little battle he had to and having to get around Daniel Miller, who finished 3rd here.
Yep. He was almost there, Joe. Holy cow.
Watch this. And textbook bump and run. Through the line. Gotta love it. Boy, that's old school racing right there. But coming out of 3 and 4, he got the bump he needed, but just not enough time coming to the line and right
close
there by a hood. And it was
less than
awesome.
half a car. Yeah, what a finish, Joe. And I had no idea, Bobby Mantle restarting 4th there. The fact that he was that close, I thought it was going to be David that was going to have the preferred line, but he did not get a good restart, and Bobby almost got it. But what a call by Jacob Grant to stay out on all tires. What a way to bounce
back too. I mean, all the problems he's had, in the races and stuff, for Grant to finally break through and get away. I knew he had the speed. I knew there was no question. It's just he had to get that right, little bit of luck to get there.
That's right. Well, should we bring him up and talk to our top 3 here, Joe?
Yeah. So I'm trying to find. Okay, we got him up here. We'll bring up old Daniel Miller up here. Let's get a word with him. Yep, there you go.
There we go. All right, Daniel, it's Josh and Joe in the booth. You got us?
Yep, I got you.
All right, man. Well, man, you kind of rolled the dice there on that last.
Back to finally get that win with all the heartbreak he's had. But bring him up here and let's get a word with him.
you're thinking about 2 tires. Ultimately ended up staying out, and then when you saw it was just you and Daniel, did you feel good at that point? Did you think you had enough, to get what you needed, or were you nervous?
I knew I needed to get a good start, which I got. I didn't spin my tires and I didn't miss a gear. I thought they were going to catch us on lap 1, and I was going to have to defend a lot harder than I did. So I was a little nervous with David behind me, because he was running up front the entire race. He led damn near every single lap tonight. So with him being directly behind me, I was a little nervous, but I knew if I can get a good start, I was confident that as long as I didn't get dumped, I could hold off everybody.
That's awesome, man. And then, just one last question before you, give your shout outs. Like, I know you and I got to talk a little bit last night. You and I are both really emotional drivers, on and off the track at times. But, what's this mean to you just to get this win? And I know the amount of work you put into this series, and I know you've been iRacing for a long time, and you've won a lot of big races in your career, and you're a past champion and the Truck Series. I mean, but where's this win rank for you? I mean, it's got to be special for you.
Yeah, this one's up there towards the top, man. It's a league that I put a lot of work into, along with Chris and a few other guys who help out. But I put a lot of thought and design into the league and itself, and the ARCA Series was kind of my idea, along with Chris. We worked together to make it happen, and it's been a huge success so far, and it's only going to grow and get better. But yeah, this is definitely a top 5 win of all the ones that I have. So it's special to get Chris Smith. He won his first league race in Clean Racing League, and in this car, and it's cool to follow him this season and get a win for High Five Racing and for Grant Designs. Well,
we all knew it was a matter of when, not if, for you to get to Victory Lane, man. So congratulations, bro. I know it's a big one for you. Before we let you go, man, the floor is yours for any shout outs.
Yeah, first I'd like to shout out you guys for doing the broadcast.
Loose, tight for you?
It was tight. I would have loved to have had it be loose. That's the way I tend to run other setups, is on the loose side. I hate when a car gets tight, but we just had to manage here with the fixed setups.
all night here tonight. Got that second place, man. I tell you what, looking good in the ARCA car. You got anybody you want to thank?
Thank you for putting this on. The guys at High Five for bringing me on, and shout out to anybody that tuned in to watch.
Go, Bobby, man. Now bringing it home in second place. And Joshua, I don't think we could have asked for any more of a thrilling race than that.
Man, that was I think that checked almost all the boxes there, Joe. We had a really good clean race, only 2 cautions. Everyone did a really good job. You know, big respect, you know, amongst competitors out here tonight, and we got that last caution and a thrilling finish. I don't think we could ask for much more.
No doubt about it, man. I'll tell you what, and we're going to leave here tonight. Grant's Designs, ARCA Series here. Appreciate Danny White sponsoring it for us. But they call it, man, the last great Coliseum, and it's a madhouse, and it definitely proved that here tonight. We had some awesome clean racing, only a couple cautions, and a wild finish at the end. Jacob Grant finally, man, breaking the barrier and getting a win here. Well, for everyone out there, have a good night.